We all have books and authors who leave a unique impression and deep impact in our lives. For me, my all-time favorite book, which has been the gate to the 18th century, is Les Confessions, written by Jean-Jacques Rousseau in 1770 and published between 1782 and 1789. It is the first book of the history of literature, which differs from all the memoirs previously written. It is the true, authentic story of his life, including all his shameful moments, his thoughts, his flaws, his most intimate and dark secrets. And if you are wondering what sort of dark, intimate secret he is sharing in Les Confessions, we are not exploring those here, but the readers in the 18th century must have been pretty surprised. I leave you to discover them in Book 1 of Les Confessions. This is a secret he never dared revealing to all the ladies of his life. I discovered this book at 16 years old and read it an entire summer under a small apple tree in the garden, and I enjoyed every page of it. I instantly found a friendship for our dear Jean-Jacques, whose shyness, awkwardness makes him do and say so funny things. I was following his tracks in the early 18th century. We feel, see, hear what he experiences. Jean-Jacques Rousseau is one of the most important characters, writers, philosophers of the French Enlightenment. His impact on the French society, on the French Revolution, have been tremendous. But his life is also fascinating. Though he was born in Geneva and was a citizen of Geneva, he spent most of his life in France and also in Savoie. He actually spent 8 years in Chambéry, a 30-minute drive away from where I was living. So he was surrounded by the same mountains, saw the same landscapes. The Savoy states at the time were an independent territory located between France, Italy and Switzerland. And this is where I spent my entire childhood and teenagehood, and where some of my ancestors come from. So it was impossible not to relate to this young man and his adventures. He spent 8 years in Les Charmettes, just a few minutes away from Chambéry. It was a countryside house bought by Madame de Warens. Madame de Warens was his protector, a 12 years older woman than him, who became both his protector, his mistress, his mother. Well, Madame de Warens, she's a bit everything. Jean-Jacques is a bit confused with the family and everything because his mother died when he was born and his father didn't take care of him, so he tries to do the best with what he can, and Madame de Warens, she is his mistress and his mother. and it is in this house at Les Charmettes that all his happy memories come from. This house is very special. Very few things have changed since Jean-Jacques left it. The landscapes, hill, wood, area all around it have been fully preserved, and we can still enjoy them as he did in 1736. The floors are the same, the rooms are the same. We can still see where Jean-Jacques was sleeping in his little bedroom. The attic above his bed for the servants, where he spent his time studying, reading, and shaping his mind, creating what he called his magasin d'idées, his stock and shop of ideas. I am sorry to have so many girls in love with me, but as there is nothing to be very vain of in the success of these armours, I think I may tell the truth without scruple. Merceret, younger and less artful than Giraud, never made me so many advances, but she imitated my manners, my actions, repeated my words, and showed me all those little attentions I ought to have had for her. Being very timorous, she took great care that we should both sleep in the same chamber, a circumstance that usually produces some consequences between a lad of 20 and a girl of 25. For once, however, it went no further, my simplicity being such that though Merceret was by no means a disagreeable girl, an idea of gallantry never entered my head. If poor Merceret paid my expenses in hopes of any return, she was terribly cheated, for we arrived at Fribourg exactly as we had quitted Annecy. There was another reason for my stupidity. Seamstresses, chambermaids, or milliners never tempted me. I cited for ladies. Everyone has his peculiar taste. This has ever been mine, being in this particular of a different opinion from Horace. Yet it is not vanity of riches or rank that attracts me. It is a well-preserved complexion, fine hands, elegance of ornaments, an air of delicacy and neatness throughout the whole person, more in taste, in the manner of expressing themselves, a finer or better-made gown, a well-turned ankle, small foot, ribbons, lace, and well-dressed hair. I even prefer those who have less natural beauty, provided they are elegantly decorated. I freely confess this preference is very, very ridiculous. Madame de Warens has the bedroom just next to his, and the altar where she was praying is still there. Sometimes when I saw her busy at her furnace, I have said, "Here now is a charming duet which seems made for the very purpose of spoiling your drugs." Her answer would be, "If you make me burn them, I'll make you eat them." Thus disputing, I drew her to the harpsichord. The furnace was presently forgotten, the extract of juniper or wormwood calcined, which I cannot recollect without transport. And these scenes usually ended by her smearing my face with the remains of them. I examined the stars with my glass and from time to time referring to my planisphere, endeavoured to distinguish the various constellations. I think I have before observed that our garden was on a terrace and lay open to the road. One night, some country people passing very late saw me in a most grotesque habit, busily employed in these observations. The light which struck directly on the planisphere, proceeding from a cause they could not divine, the candle being concealed by the side of the pail, the 4 stakes supporting a large paper, marked over with various uncouth figures, with the motion of the telescope, which they saw turning backwards and forwards, gave the whole an air of conjuration that struck them with horror and amazement. My figure was by no means calculated to dispel their fears. A flat hat put on over my nightcap, and a short cloak about my shoulder, which Madame de Warens has obliged me to put on, presented in the idea the image of a real sorcerer. I will never cease to explore this all-time favorite book and author. It just resonates with me and inspires me and comforts me in so many ways, and every time I go back to it, it just makes me laugh. This book was definitely a turning point. I never ceased to want to travel to the 18th century ever since.